What's up, everybody? Tonight is the night for the Oscars, or the Academy Awards, whatever you want to call it. And I thought I'd give my impressions on each of the Best Picture movies and some of my predictions for what's going to happen for the major categories. Now, I've watched the last 2 years' Best Picture nominees. 2 years ago, I watched them all before the Academy Awards. And last year, I watched them all after the Academy Awards. I didn't have time last year to watch them all, but other than Tree of Life, I didn't see that because I watched like the first 10, 15 minutes of that and I wanted to kill myself. So I stopped watching that. It seemed very depressing. So I'm going to give all my opinions on the Best Pictures nominees and kind of give you a little plot before I talk about them. I'm going to talk about them in the order that I saw them and then kind of go from there. But here are the nominees for Best Picture in case you don't know. This is in alphabetical order. It's Amora, which is French for love. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Probably not. Argo, Beasts of the Southern Wild, Django Unchained, Les Miserables, Life of Pi, Lincoln's Silver Linings Playbook, and Zero Dark 30. I'm also going to, after I'm done summarizing them all and giving you the plot and what I thought about it, I'm going to tell you in order of which one I like the most, from 1 to 8. I'm going to say right now, I did not see Amour because it is completely in French, and I don't want to read subtitles. Sorry. I don't have any opinion on it. From what I heard about it, I know it's probably good. It's the Best Picture nominee, so whatever. But in order of what I saw them from last Sunday to yesterday. First movie I saw was Les Miserables, and basically the plot of that movie is the main character, Jean Valjean, was basically in slavery, basically, for 19 years. He was in prison for stealing a loaf of bread, because you go 19 years for a loaf of bread. Apparently he was there for 5 years, and he tried to escape, so it turned up to 19. But he's getting out, and he's trying to start a new life, and that's basically the plot of the movie. Anne Hathaway comes in as her character, and shit happens. I don't want to spoil it, but that's basically the plot. He's trying to get his life together, and stuff happens. So, my opinions on it, Hugh Jackman did a really great job. The day after I actually saw it, I was like, he has a good chance of winning Best Actor, until I remembered Daniel Day-Lewis was nominated for Lincoln. I've forgotten about that, but I thought he did really good. Anne Hathaway's character, honestly don't remember her name, but I thought she did really well, and I liked most of the characters. I mean, my favorite song in it was probably Keeper of the House with Sacha Baron Cohen and Helena Bonham Carter. I think I'm saying her name right. I basically just called her the Tim Burton lady, so she's in all of his movies. But I really liked it, so that's Les Miserables. And I'll probably keep it about 2 minutes, 3 minutes for the plot and my opinion on each movie. Next movie I saw was Django Unchained. Really liked the movie. Thought it was very badass. Thought Christopher Waltz did great. I think he has a good chance to win Best Supporting Actor. And I thought the character Django was really well put out. Except the problem I had with it was that Django goes from being a slave, right? Goes from being a slave to 2 days to a week later, he's like a sharpshooter and fucking is the best shot, the quickest shot ever. Doesn't make much sense, but it's a movie, so I mean, it's not always gonna make sense. But my favorite scene in that is probably I'm sorry. Let me go with the plot first. The plot is basically Christopher Waltz's character, Dr. King. He's a dentist. There's actually a bounty hunter, gets Django out of slavery, buys him, and he needs Django's help to identify 3 brothers that Django knows. And after that, Django's freed. But after that happens, Django wants to find his wife, and then Dr. King wants to help Django find his wife, and that's basically the plot. Dr. King and Django trying to go find Django's wife at a plantation in the South. So that's basically the plot. Really liked it. My favorite scene was probably when, I'm assuming the KKK members, I'm assuming that's what it is. They're wearing bags on their heads, so that's what I assume. That scene where they're like bitching about they can't see out of the holes, and it was really funny. The only problem I had with that scene was Jonah Hill was there. I was like, really? Why the fuck is Jonah Hill there? You're not Jonah, Fat Jonah. What are you doing? It took me out of the movie. It's like you can't get somebody else for that 3 minutes part of that guy. Really, Jonah Hill. But overall, I thought it was a really good movie and one of my favorites. So next movie I saw was Life of Pi. I thought it was. Oh, sorry. Plot first. Basically, the plot is it's a kid named Pi. His real name is like Pissing something or other. Is named after a pool in France. All the kids made fun of him for having the name Pissing, so he got it to a nickname Pi, basically by saying out like a shitload of digits of the number pi, and his family's going and moving to Canada. They have a zoo in India, and they're trying to move everybody to Canada, give them a better life. And they're on a big boat. The boat sinks, and Pi is then stuck on a lifeboat. At first, with a chimpanzee. Not chimpanzee. Was it a chimpanzee? It was a monkey. I'll just say a monkey. A zebra with a broken leg, and then a hyena, and then it turns out there's a fucking tiger on it too, and then it ends up just being Pi and the tiger. That's basically the plot. They're on a lifeboat, Pi and the tiger. Okay? And what I thought about the movie, I thought it was interesting. I thought of it more of a documentary, really, than a fictional movie. That's kind of how the impression I got out of it, because I wasn't really, as I would say, entertained, but I thought it was interesting. And I liked it enough. So, he did a good job with the part of Pi. I mean, it's basically on a lifeboat the entire time, but he does some stupid shit on the lifeboat that I thought was dumb. Like, he takes all the food out of the lifeboat because the tiger's on the lifeboat, and he puts it on this little raft that he has, like, floating off the lifeboat so that he can live off the boat and the tiger's on the boat. First thought I had was, well, any fucking kind of storm is going to destroy all of that stuff. Because that's how the boat, like the big boat that they're on, the freighter boat, sunk in a storm. It's like, there's going to be a storm again, and you're going to lose all your food. Any type of storm, any type of like waves and shit, you're going to lose everything. So I thought that was dumb, but okay, next movie I saw was, let's see, Silver Linings Playbook. Yes. Silver Linings Playbook is the next movie I saw. It's got Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence, Robert De Niro, and some other lady. They're all nominated for the acting categories. And basically the plot of the movie is Bradley Cooper's character, Pat Jr., Robert De Niro's Pat Sr., gets out of I'm going to say mental hospital. That's what I got out of it. Because he attacked and beat a guy. I'm not going to say why, because it's kind of important to the plot, and I don't want to ruin the plot. It's kind of a twist. But he gets out of there because it's discovered he's got like bipolar and he's got mental issues and stuff like that. So he goes to a mental hospital for like 8 months. Beginning of the movie, he gets out and he's kind of trying to get back into the real world. And then he meets Jennifer Lawrence's character, and they connect in kind of a weird way because she has mental problems too because her husband died by getting hit by a car when he was trying to help somebody on the side of the road. That's a plot. I don't know if that's really a plot element, but it's told in the movie, like how he died. And then they do there's a compromise between them in order to get Bradley Cooper's character, to Pat Jr., I should say, to be able to talk to his wife because his wife put a restraining order out on him. And in exchange, he's got to do something for her. That's basically the plot. So, what I thought of the movie, thought it was a good movie. Thought it was entertaining enough. I thought Jennifer Lawrence did a really good job. Bradley Cooper, did a really good job. Robert De Niro did a good job. His character also has some, I wouldn't say mental issues, but he's like OCD. So he did good with that too. I like the plot. I like the story. It was enjoyable. Not much more really to say about it. It's a middle of the road movie from all of these. Next movie I saw was Argo. Alright. I saw Argo. Basically, the plot of it, if you don't know, it's about the 1979 Iranian hostage crisis that Iranians stormed the U.S. Embassy in Iran and were taken captive, and they were stuck there for 444 days. But this is the story of the 6 Americans that escaped from the embassy during the raid on it and got to the Canadian ambassador's house and was there for like a month and a half, 2 months. So that's a story about them. And Ben Affleck's character is with the CIA. I think he's with the CIA. He's with like a government agency, and his job is to get them out. So that's the plot. I thought it was a really good movie. Ben Affleck does a really great job in it. My favorite character, other than Ben Affleck's character, was Bryan Cranston. I really loved his character. He was, I think, like the Ben Affleck's boss. I'm trying to think of the word, but his like not his commanding officer, but like the person above him, who was in charge of him. And I thought he really did a great job. He has a really good scene. He has really good scenes in the movie at the end when like the action starts, and it's intense. It's like it keeps like that Argo like on the edge of my seat at the end of it. It's like you know what's gonna happen. Like you know they're gonna be able to get out. I think I can say that because they're not gonna fucking make the movie if they're not gonna get out, right? I mean, it's history. You know what's gonna happen. But it was still, it's like heart pounding. Like, oh my god, is this gonna happen? Are they gonna be able to get out? I don't know, but it was good. It was really good. And next movie I saw, let's go in the opposite direction here. Beasts of the Southern Wild. Now, the plot of Beasts of the Southern Wild is basically in the South, not sure what state. There's basically an island called the Bathtub, and then there's, I'm just kind of looking from a map there's in the movie. There's a shoreline, basically. Let's just say the island's right here, and then there's a shoreline right here, then the levee's right above that, and then there's a town up here. Okay? This story's about the people in the bathtub, about a black girl named Hush Puppy, who's like 6 years old, living in the bathtub with her daddy. That's the plot. And other plot elements are like a storm comes and floods the whole area, and basically they get the bright idea to ruin the people that were smart enough to get out of the fucking bathtub's lives by blowing up the levee and unflooding the bathtub. I'm saying everything in this plot because you don't want to see this movie, in my opinion. I believe it is not a good movie. Then they get the bright idea to blow up the levee and unflood the bathtub and basically ruin other people's lives instead of their own. And then there's a side story about some giant pigs, oryx, I believe they call them, and they're basically frozen in the ice, and now they're coming to the southern wilds, and her daddy's sick too, got some sort of blood disease, and that's basically, in all honesty, I don't believe there's really a plot. It's just a movie that's an hour and a half long, and there's no real plot. My opinion of the movie, if you haven't guessed, is I believe it is terrible. I don't believe it is a good movie. I didn't enjoy it at all. 30 minutes in, I thought about turning it off. The only reason I did not turn it off is because it was only an hour 30 long. If it had been as long as any of the other Best Picture movies, if it had been 2 hours, 2.5 hours, 2 hours, 45 minutes, that shit would have been off in 40 minutes because I didn't want to see the rest of it. The only reason I stuck with it is to see how much I would hate this movie in the end. And I really hated the movie. I thought the girl, Hush Puppy, who was nominated for Best Actress, was just annoying. And it's like, she's 5 or 6 years old, So it's like it's expected she's saying stupid shit. But she sets her house on fire because, I don't know, because she was pissed at her dad. And then there's this plot element of, like, she's looking for her mom because she ran away or died or something like that. I think she left on a boat. They think she's dead. And she's like, Mama, Mama. I hated it. I thought her character was very annoying. Didn't like her dad. Basically, everybody in that movie, in my opinion, is just unlikable. There's nobody that's likable in this entire movie. It's the only movie in the last 3 years, I should say, 3 years, that I just hated everybody. Completely hated the movie. 2 years ago, it's like every year there's one movie in the Best Pictures that I hate. There's got to be one. There's always got to be one movie that you have to hate. This is that movie. Last year, it was Tree of Life. I only watched 10 to 15 minutes of it because I got out of it as quickly as I could. It probably would have been the same thing, but Tree of Life was a long-ass movie. I didn't want to see it all. 2 years ago was Winter's Bone. I watched it with my roommates. My roommates liked it. I didn't like it. I don't know. It was probably just the characters I didn't like. And I mean, it was an interesting enough plot, but I just really didn't like the characters in it. Beasts of the Southern Wild. Hated it. I actually Googled Beasts of the Southern Wild is, because I was going to look Beasts of the Southern Wild is terrible. Now, the first entry is Beasts of the Southern Wild is about, the second one's Beasts of the Southern Wild is the bathtub a real place. Third one's Beasts of the Wild is, I don't remember. Fourth one, Beasts of the Wild, Southern Wild is terrible. So, it's not just me. I did not like it. Don't watch it, in my opinion. Now, let's get on to some better movies. Now, yesterday I watched 2 movies. I watched Zero Dark 30 first and then Lincoln. So Zero Dark 30, if you don't know, is basically the story of the tracking down and the capture, I shouldn't say capture, the death of Osama bin Laden. Now it starts the movie at 9/11, basically black screen, and it's got messages from 9/11, phone calls and other stuff like that. So that's the start of the movie. And then it goes about 2002. It follows the story of, I don't remember her name. Honestly, characters in movies, names. It's like, when you're watching a movie, it's like, oh, it's that character. It's that character. It's that lady. Okay, that's good. I don't need to know her name. But she's nominated for the Best Actress. And basically the entire movie is her story of tracking down and finding Osama bin Laden, and then basically the last 30 minutes, I think, 30, 40 minutes, is basically SEAL Team 6 going in there and killing Osama bin Laden. So, it looked really accurate. It looked like that's what happened, at least in the killing of Osama bin Laden at the compound in Abbottabad. But it was a good movie. It was entertaining. You know what's going to happen at the end, but it was interesting, like, the lead up to it and how it kind of went down. So, I liked it. I thought it was good. Basically, all I got to say about Zero Dark 30. Now, last movie, Lincoln. I saved it for last because I thought it was going to be the best. Didn't disappoint. Thought it was a really good movie. It wasn't my favorite, but it's probably going to be up there for Best Picture. So, basically, story of Lincoln, which, you know it's about Lincoln, but you're not quite sure what the plot exactly is. It starts, I think, right after his second inauguration. It's like 2 weeks after that. And it's basically the story of getting the 13th Amendment ratified, and the effort on the Republican Party, which is Lincoln's party, to get 20 Democrats to vote yes to the 13th Amendment, which was the to abolish slavery. That's basically the plot, was trying to get 20 Democrats to vote yes on the 13th Amendment to get it ratified by the House of Representatives. Now, there's a lot of really good characters in it, a lot of really good emotion that comes from the characters, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. Daniel Day-Lewis is great in it. Tommy Lee Jones, in my opinion, was really good. I think, he got nominated for Best Supporting Actor, but I think that the role that he played was a better role than what he did for acting. Like, you really want the guy to win. You really want the guy to succeed. That's the role, I think. It's not really Tommy Lee Jones. It's more of anybody playing that part, you would have been cheering for. You would have really thought he did a good job. That's kind of my opinion. But I think Lincoln was really good. It, like I said, it'll be up there for the awards for it. But let's. I'm going to talk about. I'm like 20 minutes in now, so let's talk about some of the awards. I actually find it interesting. One thing I found interesting is that Sacha Baron Cohen is in the last 2 years nominated in a film that was nominated for Best Picture. Last year it was Hugo. This year is Les Miserables. I find that interesting. So I'm looking at right now 2012 in film on Wikipedia because it shows me who's won in the different categories in the different award shows, like Critics' Choice Awards, which was January 10th, Gold Globes, which was January 13th, Screen Actors Guild Awards, which was January 27th, and the BAFTA, which was February 10th. So it's interesting that in all of them, Argo won Best Picture, except for musical or comedy, which went to Les Miserables. I find that interesting. It's like Argo won everything. Okay. Best Director, Ben Affleck, won everything, which is very interesting because he didn't even get nominated for Best Director in the Academy Awards. He was nominated. So Best Actor basically has been Daniel Day-Lewis, except for musical or comedy that went to Hugh Jackman. Best Actress has been a real grab bag, from Zero Dark 30 to Silver Linings Playbook to Amour. And then Best Supporting Actor has been a bit of a grab bag too for Philip Seymour Hoffman, Christopher Waltz, and Tommy Lee Jones. Anne Hathaway's won across the board so far for Best Supporting Actress. And basically the other category that I'm really interested in for the Academy Awards is Best Animated Film, which Brave has won 2 of them, but Wreck-It Ralph has won 1. I'm cheering for Wreck-It Ralph. But let's take a look at the categories here. Like I said, let me go over. This is my personal 1 to 8 for my favorite. 1 to 8, should say, for my favorite movies for Best Picture. I'm gonna leave out a more Love. I'm just gonna fucking call it Love from now on, since I'm not French. I'm gonna leave out Love because I didn't see it at all. So, from favorite to least favorite, it goes Django Unchained, Les Miserables. Then I'm gonna go Lincoln, then Argo, then Silver Linings Playbook, then Zero Dark 30, Life of Pi, and Beasts of the Southern Wild. So that's my order, and I'm gonna go start at best. I'll start Best Animated Film. Nominated for Best Animated Film is Brave, Frankenweenie, Paranorman, The Pirates, Band of Misfits, and Wreck-It Ralph. I've only seen Wreck-It Ralph. I'm assuming Brave is really good. It's put on by Pixar and Disney and all them guys, so I'm assuming it's good. I'm cheering for Wreck-It Ralph. I hope it's Wreck-It Ralph, but I think it's going to be Brave. Unfortunately, I think that Brave's going to beat Wreck-It Ralph, but I'm cheering for Wreck-It Ralph. But, okay, now let's get up to the real major categories. Let's start with Best Supporting Actress. It's Amy Adams for The Master, Sally Fields for Lincoln, Anne Hathaway in Les Miserables, Helen Hunt in The Sessions, and Jackie Weaver in Silver Linings Playbook. Now, I've only seen 3 of their performances, but I didn't think Sally Field did really anything in Lincoln. She had 1 major scene where there was really anything that happened. Jackie Weaver did really good, although it's the same type of thing where she didn't really have that major of a role. But Anne Hathaway, she's won across the board. She had, 20-25 minutes of just her, and she's going to win. She's won across the board so far, and she's really the only one that I think has a chance to win. So I'm going Anne Hathaway for Best Supporting Actress. Now, Best Supporting Actor, we got Alan Arkin in Argo, which is If you've seen Argo, he's the bald guy that's the fake director or the fake producer, I think, for the movie that's a fake movie that they make to get everybody out. Robert De Niro in Silver Linings Playbook, Philip Seymour Hoffman in The Master, Tommy Lee Jones in Lincoln, and Christopher Waltz. Now, I haven't seen The Master, so I don't have an opinion on Philip Seymour Hoffman, but I think it has to go to Christopher Waltz. I thought his performance was just so good. He could have been nominated for Best Actor if that is the role that they wanted to put him in. If that's the way that it would have gone down. I think he did that good. So, it's Christopher Waltz, Best Supporting Actor. Now, Best Actress, you got Jessica Chastain for Zero Dark 30. Jennifer Lawrence for Seven Linings Playbook. How do you say that? Emilian Riva in Amour, Love. Then the chick from Beasts of the Southern Wild, I don't know how to say that name, and Naomi Watts. Oh, if you're wondering, I'm looking at the 85th Academy Awards on Wikipedia. And then Naomi Watts in The Impossible. So I haven't seen The Impossible, I have no idea. Beasts of the Southern Wild, Hush Puppy, I don't care, I don't like you. Haven't seen Amour. So it's basically for me between Jessica Chastain and Jennifer Lawrence. I think Jennifer Lawrence did a really great job with her character, really got in the mind of that sort of character, and how she functioned was just... You really connected with her, and you really wanted it to work out. So I'm predicting Jennifer Lawrence for Silver Linings Playbook. Now Best Actor, Bradley Cooper for Silver Linings Playbook, Daniel Day-Lewis for Lincoln, Hugh Jackman for Les Miserables, Joaquin Phoenix for The Master, and Denzel Washington for Flight. So I haven't seen The Master, haven't seen Flight, no opinions on that. But Bradley Cooper did a really great job, Daniel Day-Lewis did a really great job, and Hugh Jackman did a really great job. But I think it comes down between Daniel Day-Lewis and Hugh Jackman. And if it wasn't Daniel Day-Lewis up there against him, I think Hugh Jackman wins pretty easily. But with Daniel Day-Lewis's performance for Lincoln as Lincoln, it was just crazy good. I mean, I thought I was watching Lincoln. Like, literally, that's Lincoln. So it's got to be Daniel Day-Lewis, no doubt, for Best Actor. Now, for Best Picture, I've named them all. I'm not going to name them all again. I think it's really a no-brainer for Lincoln, but, you know, Argo's won across the board for everything else. But I also think that might put Argo at a disadvantage, because the Academy Awards didn't exactly like the performance of the Best Actor or the director for Affleck. He didn't get any of that. He didn't even get, he won everything else, but he didn't even get nominated for Best Director. And I think that Argo was good, but I think Lincoln's going to win for Oscars. I'm thinking it's like a different sort of feel that they have for the Oscars. Not really sure, but my prediction is Lincoln for Best Picture. Now, if you agree with me, disagree with me on anything that I've said, let me know. Put it in the comments. If you like what I said, leave a like. If you really like what I said and want to see more of my stuff that I've done, which is mainly video game playthroughs and trophies and achievements for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, take a look at my channel. Subscribe. It'll be helpful to me. I enjoy people's praise and all that stuff. And you don't like what I said, fucking let me know. And I'll be like, you don't agree with me. But, it's all for fun. Hopefully the Academy Awards are good. Hopefully Seth MacFarlane doesn't fuck it up too much. I don't know. But I've enjoyed it. I'll probably enjoy it again, hopefully. I don't really care about any of the other categories too much, but, people gotta get recognized for what they've done, and people gotta win stuff for what they did, so. But that is all for today. I went for about 30 minutes, so that's pretty nice. So, Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time.